So I want to introduce myself. My name is Daniel Rowe. I'm a content creator. I've been working as a content creator, and I say content creator again, for over 10 plus years. And then I have around 400 plus clients that I work with. That was a lot of clients that are very annoying. So, oh, fuck that. I even think about that. Yeah, crazy, right? And it's been a long ride. I made a ton of mistakes, guys, a ton of mistakes. And I think I finally kind of like figured it out. So if this is a conversation that you find value, please let us know. Today we have Madison. And I don't want to say your last name because I want you to introduce yourself like really quick. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Sure. I'm Madison. I'm going to leave my last name out because my husband wants me to change my last name. But no, I'm Madison Cooker, now Shinsky, but the paperwork is still in process. But I am a working mom. I have 2 little girls. I am a lawyer. I am a former elite gymnast. I run a family business on the side, and I am now a Hyrox athlete. I can't sit still. So
we can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell, yeah.
So I think I'm somebody, I always need a new project, something that I'm looking forward to, something that I'm like creating or building. And if I don't have that next thing, I sort of get like restless and anxious. And so it's sort of, in a way, being very busy and having lots of random goals keeps me grounded, even though it sounds counterintuitive.
All right. And then what is the reason why you're here?
So basically, I've always been a creative person. I've always had a creative outlet in different ways. Most recently, I was teaching in a spin studio. That came to an end right before Thanksgiving, and I felt very lost. That was my chance to build a community, to connect with people around me, and sort of have a platform to be creative. And it's so different from what I do as a mom and as a lawyer. And so it's an important piece of me, and I felt lost without it. And so I was sort of trying to figure out, like, what do I do next? How do I reclaim that creative part of myself?
Right.
And I've always loved social media. I've always loved Instagram. But I always just posted for my friends and for my family. Like, it was never something that I was thinking about, like, how do I get other people to watch what I'm doing?
Right.
And so it was sort of weird, but in January, I went on a ski trip to France with my brother and husband and his fiance. And I posted what I thought was an amazing video. Like, we were skiing, we were partying on the ski slopes, it was great. And I posted it, and I'm like, this is gonna get 1 million views. And it got like 400 views. Right. And it was the first time that I started thinking about, how does social media work? What controls whether things get views or not?
Right.
I'm a little bit obsessive when I do things, so I sort of like dove in.
What is that you thought that it was going to get 1 million views? Why? Or what made you think, this is a great video? What it was the edit? It was like what are your thoughts?
It was sort of one of those like once in a lifetime trips where I feel like if you watch the video, you're like, I want to be there doing what they're doing. We were staying at this like all-inclusive ski resort, adults only. So there were like crazy parties on the mountain. Terrain was beautiful.
Right, and then we're going to put the video somehow on the editing here so people can watch it, okay?
So it actually is a good video, right? But the problem is it's a 3-minute video and no one on Instagram is watching a 3-minute video. Right. So it starts off with like me and my husband like walking down the street. No one cares, right?
Did you actually post the video? It's like 3 minutes, the video that you posted?
Yeah, I have it on my Instagram.
Okay, I will check it out.
I think you're cut at like 90 seconds or a minute 20 seconds.
Let me see. And I need to go to Gabby, but we need to go back to her for a reason. It's cool. So your last name
Madison,
is Cooker.
It's actually Austin.
Madison, but your last name is Cooker.
Name. Last name is Cooker. Soon to be Shinsky.
Which one's the video? Do you have it on the
Yeah, but you got to go way down.
Okay. Yeah, I love this.
So that was my brother got married actually 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, that was great.
So I've been trying to make content in real life as things happen.
Okay.
So that was the wedding. Actually, scroll up. Wait, there's a fun one I just posted actually that I'm going to show off for a second. Sorry.
Yep.
Right. So we celebrated my 40th birthday this past weekend, and we rented a castle because I'm insane. So
that's totally fine. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Look at this.
Okay, wait. But so actually though,
B.O.B. or H is getting serious. Yeah, right. And the girls are like, yeah.
Nothing else about me is.
This is fun.
So we actually dyed the floor pink by accident, and then the next hour we were like hosing down the entire place. But all right, so you got to go like way down though because.
Okay, let me see if we can find it.
It's back to like January.
Let's see. There you go. Hyrox, baby. Okay, Hyrox is great. Oh, wait, that was actually because I never seen you doing something. Oh my God, look at those. That's great, Madison. That's
So
great.
basically,
You never did CrossFit.
I've never done CrossFit.
Never did, you
so
probably will be very good at CrossFit.
I did I started gymnastics when I was like 6, and I competed on the national team. I thought I was going to go to the Olympics. That was like always the dream.
Of course.
And
right,
then, in New York at the time, there was nowhere to train for the Olympics. I would have had to have moved to a different state. My parents wanted me to have like a normal childhood, didn't want to move. And so I never got to train at the level I would have had to make the Olympic team. But I was on the junior national team, and I competed in college as a D1 athlete at Cornell.
Nice.
So I did that. So that's always been like a big part of who I am, is working out, fitness. So then, basically in college, I competed throughout college, and then I competed for USA Gymnastics during my first year of law school. And then I had a bunch of injuries. So I had to get shoulder surgery, and I broke both my ankles at the same time. And that was a really big recovery.
All right. But that's a great story. And then I can see in here your Instagram. I mean, obviously, I actually checked your Instagram before. I was actually looking at your when I met you. I think it was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, so we're getting closer now. So
okay,
this
cool.
is more. I think you passed it now, actually.
Let me see.
So let's go up more. It's one of these over here where we're skiing. It might be that one.
Let me see. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's it.
So
did you post the whole video as a 3-minute video?
Yeah,
right?
it's like a 2.5-minute video. So this was the first video I posted, thinking like, hey, let me try to get people to watch my content because it could. Like I said, I've always loved. I'm a big personality. I always have been.
Yes,
I've always wanted to be on TV. I used to take acting classes. I was
and
on
you
a
mentioned
few
the reality TV.
I was on a reality dating show. Did not meet my
Nice.
husband there, but I was on the Love Connection on Fox.
Oh,
and
cool.
then there's another show, Married at First Sight.
Uh-huh.
I was almost on that show. I was on like the first episode of the show, but I wasn't actually matched. That's a whole other really long story.
Okay.
I have a lot of long stories, but
okay, we'll
I
keep
did
that
not
one for
get
another
married
day.
on national TV, but I almost did.
Okay.
But I've always loved reality TV and acting and being in front of a camera and sort of just like.
And that is one thing that I'm going to tell you,
there.
is it shows, right? So, but just having this conversation, it shows completely. And I think when I met you too, definitely you have that personality that it was
Thank
definitely
you.
going to work.
Thank
I
you.
can see 100%, even your content, right? And again, so we're going to go really quick. So definitely you have the personality. I feel like if you have your own show, people will start definitely obviously watching.
I do ridiculous things. I could use my own show.
Right. So that's that you have the experience, reality TV, and then you have all these things under your belt as well. So I think, like, for example, this is an example when I would recommend, for example, this type of setting, like a podcast.
Yeah.
Right, where you interview, and that could be a test, right? So ideally what happens is, thing like of a podcast is, because it's a long form content, we're going to start putting that content on YouTube, right?
Yep.
And then YouTube, the algorithms are super good at finding who is watching, who's like your tribe. Like, okay, let me find the person that will most likely watch this type of podcast or what you're saying, right? And definitely I can tell just because I work, 95% of my clients are women.
Okay.
Right. So I can tell 100%, that you will have no problem. Like other women will, I want to watch more. Right.
Thank you.
Right. Then it's just a matter of being consistent. Right.
Yes.
Definitely this is an example. And for you guys that are watching this is an example of, I would recommend definitely starting with a podcast.
About what?
Yeah. Oh, the podcast ideas, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Just to give you an example, like if you don't have, okay, what am I going to talk about? So the idea at the beginning is you shoot 3 podcasts with topics of things that you want to talk about, that you're super, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like you're like super excited about.
Passionate about.
Passionate. That's the word that I'm looking for. Passionate. So for example, just by right now, this conversation may be traveling.
Yep.
Right. So let's say, and then you talk about why it's so important for you, why you love it, places that you have, and then stories, right? So that could be an example of a podcast. This idea of the podcast is a solo podcast where you are talking actually to the camera, right? And then through the podcast, you throw some videos of your experiences, right? And then what happened, stories, funny stories, or things that happen, right? That could be a topic,
Okay.
right? Another topic is another type of podcast is where you bring someone.
Okay.
Right. So you're very funny. You're very interesting. So you talk a lot. So I always tell, and that's totally fine. So you can be paired. I mean, yes, you can, but I will recommend that you find, like, for example, if you bring someone else,
Yeah.
it has to be the opposite of you.
Yes.
Right?
It's funny.
That makes sense?
It does. It's like I always thought I was gonna marry somebody who was exactly like me, like super high energy, like moving nonstop. And my husband is amazing, and we're polar opposites. Like he keeps me calm and stable and sane, and I keep him from being boring. And I keep things exciting and fresh. And it's a really good pairing. So no, I
you
get
totally
that.
you totally relate to that. So the idea will be to match. For example, I have a client that they're an insurance company.
Yeah.
Right. So the owner is very professional, very tactical. He can talk on the camera and teach something. So, but he's not as funny. So what we did is we pair him with somebody, another employee of the company, that he is hilarious. This guy is so fun, and it's insurance. So it's like, what can be funny about insurance? But he tells these stories, and he's not American.
Okay.
I believe he's from Serbia.
Okay. Cool.
Right. So he has these, it's just ridiculous. So what you want, Aaron, is like actually keep it in one, because sorry about the, it gets like hot in here. I'm sorry guys, we have like technical problems. Yeah, you want to keep it in one because the mics will pick the,
the sound up.
The
I
sound,
know.
yeah. So
I've realized that too. Like I'll record something in my car, like a voiceover or a video, and then the background is.
So now AI is getting better, like the tools to remove the background noise. So they're getting much better. So we'll definitely can talk about that. But so my client, so his employee is Serbian. He's hilarious. So when you put them together, it's crazy. So they talk, they laugh, and then they start talking about like maybe something. Okay, let's talk about something insurance. They talk about that, then they start laughing. So it keeps people watching
and engaged.
Right. So that's just an example. So, and then that will be an example of you, for example, you help moms still chasing big dreams. So you share your story. So the idea is at the beginning, 3 podcasts, 3 episodes. And then what we do is we put these videos on YouTube. And I'll show, for example, in this case, Gabby, right? Gabby's an example. She's very good on camera too, obviously, right? So, and then what we'll do is we post these videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. And then what happens is YouTube is going to give us some information, right? So what's going to happen is it's going to show us, let me switch the channel, right? So think like the analytics on Instagram. Are you familiar with analytics? Have you ever done that?
Yes, I've been, so I kind of went down this like a rabbit hole. So I haven't explored other channels yet. Like I don't use or really like TikTok right now, but Instagram, I've gone like deep dive into all the analytics. I'm watching all of these creators now who are giving you tips. I'm looking at the skip rate and the like rate and then your retention rate if the curve drops off, and trying to analyze like why this video did well, that one didn't do well. And it's definitely addicting. And even like if you saw like my profile now, I recently changed and updated my bio on there because, and I actually just made a little reel about this today that I'm going to post. But it's like I had almost 1 million views on my page in the last 60 days and basically 550,000 views in the last 30 days. But the views are not converting to followers, right? So the question then becomes why?
Keep a note because I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why soon. That's a very good question for everybody watching. I guess it's very important. And I'm going to explain why, because that's a similar question that somebody had with me. And then we explain why, and I show you. But so just to give you really quick, the idea of and I'm going to, I literally this morning, I had a conversation with another person that he was telling me, I was telling the same thing. She has a podcast and she's so what happens is, I believe once you find a platform that you like, you kind of like try to stick to that platform, and then it's hard for you kind of like detach.
Yes.
Right. I'm a big believer that you need long form content. The reason we want to have your long form content on YouTube is like, if I post a video today on YouTube, somebody's going to watch the video 5 years from now, 3 years, 5 years. There's always somebody's going to watch it.
Yeah.
On Instagram, that's not the case.
Right.
So for example, so if you, let's say, for example, what you posted today, right? In 6 months, nobody is, some people can find it, but it's
very hard to find.
Very hard to find. So YouTube works the opposite way, right? Because it's the content's going to stay there. It's going to forever. I say forever, like, years and years that people are going to keep watching the video, right? And it sets the foundation because, again, if I like who you are, it's like, I connect with this person. So the natural human behavior is that I want to consume more of your content.
Yes.
So what happens is it starts with short content, short form content, bum, 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 and then you say something, oh, I have a podcast. The natural progression is the person's going to go to binge on your long form content.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
the goal
long
at
form,
least, right?
and the long form content is going to build that loyalty.
Yes.
And the audience, because this is going to be your tribe, right? Going back really quick, and besides the fact, before I keep going, it's like, so, and I was explaining to actually Aaron, a couple like, shout out to Aaron. So it's like, he's going to have a multi-million-dollar marketing agency in like 6 months, thanks to AI. And then it's like, so what happens is, once you post, I'll show you, this is an example, right? So this video, it's a podcast with Gabby, right? So
welcome back to the Woman
we're going to pause it right now. And then this YouTube video becomes a blog post, all with AI, right? This is assisted with AI. So as soon as we posted the video on YouTube, a couple hours later, it was on her blog.
That's actually very cool.
Right?
What AI are you using? What
So we're going to talk about that. So it's not, so there's a difference. What are you familiar with? ChatGPT, Claude?
Yeah, so I use a little bit of both. Right now, I spent so much time building my ChatGPT that like it knows, like I poured my life story into it. It knows who I am. It helped me sort of find my niche of like who I wanted to be, right? Like I told it my story and it basically came back and helped me evaluate and say like, hey, there's a powerful story here to tell, right? That's because you're a mom, you can still chase your dreams. You can still recreate yourself. You can still find new parts of yourself. And like it sounds crazy, but it almost took ChatGPT to help me realize those things about myself that I already knew, but sort of like didn't want to acknowledge.
It gave you clarity. It was your clarity coach.
Yes,
exactly.
Best therapist in the world, right?
And and then so what I'm explaining to you really quick in here is, for example, I'm on Claude right now, right? So I'm going to start a new chat. This is exactly so what happens, and you use ChatGPT. I'm going to go to the screen really quick right here. Let me see.
But I do want to use Claude more because I think that Claude can like audit your Instagram.
So I'm gonna explain to you like what's kind of like you see, and you look at this like ChatGPT is doing right here because it already knows. So what happens is it's connected to my calendar.
Yeah.
So, and they found that I have a podcast with you. So it really, it's giving me a next step. Okay, do you want to set up like what you guys are going to talk about? That's what happens. So ChatGPT, so there's two different things, right? So you have the chatbots.
Yep.
And then you have what's called the agentic tools, right? And we're going to talk about what's happening right now. So most people, what they do is they use the chatbot.
Yep.
ChatGPT, you talk to ChatGPT, and then it's a chatbot. This is a chatbot. Claude is a chatbot, right here. You see the chat? This is what I like to.
Yes.
And then now you see this section here called co-work. And then you also see this section here, code. And you're like, oh. So what happens is what I use is agentic tools. And these are my agentic tools. This is my AI assistant. You see, AI assistant.
Yep. I know you can like create agents, and I don't know how to do that yet.
Correct. And it works the same way as you talk to ChatGPT. The difference is the way I explain it, like in a simple way, and please don't attack me in the comments. Okay, you guys are like crazy sometimes in the comments. It's like, so what I'm trying to say is like, think they're your employees, right? So my first employee will be having an assistant, right? Yeah. Like a professional assistant, a business assistant that is like, okay, can you check my calendar? Can you text this person, right? Can you email this proposal? Can you get back to me? Can you put this as a note that we need to go to this meeting with this person?
Yeah.
So that's your first AI employee, right? And then what happens is you have a chat, a conversation with the agentic tool. In this case, it's called Claude Code.
Okay.
Right? And then it will build this agent or assistant for you.
So you don't need to actually know coding. You just need to basically talk to a human being, like I do on ChatGPT, right? I would just talk to it. Like, I need to create an agent who's going to do X, Y, and Z things for me.
And it will build it for you, right? And then that's the beauty of AI now.
Yes.
That is like, you don't need to know how to code, right? You can build your own
Because
employees.
it has the coding knowledge.
It will code for
use.
you. So, but it does is basically, so for example, I'll give you more clarity. So this is my AI assistant. It does a bunch of things for me, right? One thing that it does for me is like, for example, did you remember when you receive a text message from my AI assistant?
And it said yes, exactly.
Right. So what I did is I put my phone and I say, the name of my assistant is Sofia, obviously.
Okay.
Right? Sofia. So I say,
Forgot
Sofia, I need you to text Madison and remind her that her podcast session is this day, this blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sends the text message. So the first tool or the first task that I need Sofia to do is text clients for me. Instead of me texting, I just go, text this client this, text this client that.
So how does it have access to your phone and your contacts? You give it access?
That's the power of having an agentic tool. That the agentic tool, you decide, okay, I need you to access my Gmail, my calendar, my contacts. So as you tell the agentic tool what it's going to have access to.
But then do you I'm trying to learn how to do
this. No, that's good.
So do you actually manually give it access, or you
Yes.
tell it?
You need to approve it because it will require the approval for you, because this is kind of like, it will have access to your information.
Right. So you'll be prompted to give it access, or
Yes.
you have to go in and...
Yeah, so basically it's going to ask you, right? It's going to ask you, once you build it, it's going to say, I'm going to have access to your contacts. Are you okay with that?
Right.
Do you approve? And this is this section that we see it in here. Do you see this auto right here?
Yeah.
So you see it's like manual.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to manual, it's gonna ask you, do you allow me to access your contacts? Do you allow me to access your Gmail? Do you allow me to access to your calendar?
Mm-hmm.
If I say bypass, because there's different ways that I just, in this case, once I allow that, then when it starts coding or building the tool for you,
Yeah.
it's gonna automatically bypass these permissions. You see how like right now it's telling you?
Yeah.
One thing with AI, if these agentic tools, is like you let the tool control certain aspects.
Yes.
And you have to be okay with that. But
Right,
that doesn't mean that it's going to hack your account.
No, but you have to agree what you want to give permission to.
Correct.
So like, for instance, I wanted to do this and I have no idea how to, right? But I've been watching a lot of social content creators on Instagram, how they're using AI to help help boost their followers, right? So apparently there's a way, and I think it's probably easy, but I can hook up my Instagram to Claude or give Claude permission to view my Instagram.
Correct.
And then I actually saved these prompts from another creator that I saw, basically to give Claude to say, hey, I want you to audit this as if you were a social media content coach. What am I doing wrong? How come I'm not converting views to followers? What should I be doing different? And help me think of 15 new hooks for my next reels.
100%. You can totally do that.
How?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna build now. Yes. So but I want you love the questions. This podcast is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I'm all excited. Yeah. So you see, like right now, it's an example. So the coding part, obviously, that's kind of what I was telling you in here. So what it does is like, let me find actually a part of a code. So you see, this is the code.
Yeah.
So it's writing all that code for me. So I don't have to do that. I know how to code.
Okay.
Like that's part of my background, but it's, I don't have to code. That saves me tons of time. Really quick, I'm going to go to, for example, my other tools really quick in here so that keep that in mind. So for example, this is the AI video editor. So this is the guy who edits all the videos. So you see, for example, right now, at the end of this podcast, I just go to bring the cards from the cameras. I put them on my MacBook, and then the AI video editor is gonna say, "Oh wait, there's a new videos from Daniel and Madison," and then it's gonna send me a notification on my phone. It's gonna say, "Do you want me to start the Multicam edit?" And I'm gonna say yes, and it's gonna start editing the video. So by the time I wake up tomorrow, the Multicam or the podcast is gonna be ready for me to just review.
So it edits it for you. It's going to pick what it thinks is the best.
So what it does is, I'll show you really quick in here. So like what it does is the multicam. So you see right now we have two cameras.
Yes.
So what the editor does, what I will do, like a human will do, the editor, it will be the switching.
Okay.
So if I'm talking, the camera is going to go to my camera. If you talk, it's going to go to the second camera, right? So it will do that for me.
Okay.
So it's ready to go. And then it's obviously like if it's going to ask me, I noticed that, for example, you started the podcast when you say your intro. Do you want me to start the podcast when you say your intro, or you want me to start it before?
Okay.
So it's just these questions, right? Then little questions. Then once it's done, it's going to send me another notification to my phone, and it's going to say the video is ready. Do you want me to publish it to the YouTube channel? So do you see, like, this is the AI video editor. You see the title, right? Yeah. So for example, and I have a video editor for each of my clients. So now you see right there, I have another guy that is called the AI YouTube publisher. So this is the guy who actually takes a video and is going to post it to YouTube.
It's crazy.
So what happens is, if I say yes, what's going to happen is going to go to YouTube, and then in the morning, I'm going to see it right here. So we're going to go to this part where it's like your videos.
Yeah.
Right. This is my channel. You see my channels right here. So you see the videos are there. This is
crazy.
The one we have with Aaron. This is the one that I have with Gabby, right?
So do you tell it how long you want the video to be?
So it depends on like the whole conversation. So it would ask me questions. So there's two things that I always have to do. So I tell the AI video editor.
Yeah.
Is start the video when I say my intro. You saw my intro. Hey, I'm Daniel Bro. Boom. And the second thing is at the end, I always say, I'll see you guys on the next time. So that's when he knows that it ends. And it will just trim it like that, but it will ask me, do you want me to trim it right here or no? And then if you see in the YouTube, they're private. So I need to come here. When I go to the video, it added the title and it added all the descriptions automatically.
It's really cool.
Obviously, this is something that I do, right? So this is not something that the AI came out with.
Right, you built this. You created
it. So what I say is,
this.
I want the description to be this way. Your job is to put it this way using this podcast.
Yep.
Right? So just to give an example, right? And then going back to your question that you were saying, very important. So the analytics. So I'm going to show you something that again, right? So what happens is, going back to Gabby. So you remember, again, it's now on the block, right? Mm-hmm. So then there's another employee who will chop the videos, and then he will break down reels. So now we're going to go back to Instagram really quick. Right, so what it will do is chop the reels. I'm gonna go to Gabby really quick. And then we're going right here. So, and this is an example of those podcasts.
Okay, so it takes key frames of it and makes it into
It will say,
reels.
I think, Daniel, that the best parts of this podcast that will do well on Instagram are these parts. 1, 2, 3. Do you want me to go with all those 3, or do you have any feedback? Okay. So I say, these are good. So it will chop them, and then it will automatically put them on a schedule.
It's very cool.
And it will post them automatically for me. So for Gabby, we post Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Right, unless I say, post at 7, post at 8 p.m.
But it automates it for you, so it's automatically done. So like right now, my husband gets annoyed at me a lot because I'm on my phone too much. Making reels, editing reels, filming reels. Like even before I came here, I posted something and he called. He's like, "Aren't you working right now?" I was like, "Well, I am working, but actually, I started like making batch reels now for a change. So now I'll make like 5 or 6 at a time, like on a Sunday night or on a Peloton or whatever. And then now I was like, no, I wasn't making a reel during work. I just posted it at 12:30. But I also think that you can automate that too.
You can be automated, and then the reason why we want to post automatically is because we want to create output. So the more output we have, so what happens is you're gonna start getting data. You mentioned that correctly, the analytics. So the most important. So what happened, going back to the video that you thought that was gonna go viral, is most likely what happened is, it was only shown to your followers, right?
It was shown to other followers, but on that one, there was no hook, right?
Yes.
Like my intro reel was like, "Hey, I'm in France right now," but
so the packaging, right, works definitely. But I want you to think, this is kind of what happens behind the scenes. I don't know if you're familiar how Instagram actually does the process when you post a reel. So what happens is, it will take you post a reel. So it would take your reel. There is an argument in how many people are about the numbers, but like the simple example that I can give you, okay? It will show you reel to 20 people.
Yep.
Right? Just to give you, the numbers are like arguable, right? We don't know, right? So we show it to 20 people. And it's phase 1. So after phase 1, if it does well, then it pushes the reel to more followers.
Yep.
And if it does well in that phase, then it shows the video to people that they don't follow you. But the initial part, and you assess it correctly, the hook, the watch time, all those things, that's what tells Instagram it's going well.
Yeah. And it's like I use the Edits app a lot. So it does break down for you what % of your views are from followers and non-followers. So I'm like on there way too often, like checking and then how long people watch it for and where they say there's like a curve too that shows like where they swipe away.
Correct.
So the other thing I've been trying to use now are the trial reels. They're really popular right now. And that's something I want to use AI for too, but I haven't figured it out because you can basically recreate this, like you can use essentially the same exact video if it's a good video, right? And you can mirror it or speed it up or slow it down and then change your hook on screen, but it takes time.
It takes time.
But I think AI can probably do that for me.
Yeah. And then I want you to think that the most important thing for you is that organic growth takes time. Right. So for how long you've been posting, would you say a year? I know that you've been doing this for a long time, but like you would say like this, like new.
Yeah. So I only started like trying to actually be a content creator probably in March.
Okay. So that's good.
So it's new.
Yeah.
So I think when I started, I was at like 1875 followers. Okay. And I'm at like 3280 right now.
Oh, that's good.
So it's slow.
No. So I just want you to think that it's slow, right? It's going to be slow organically. So you need to be patient. And this is the number that I was like, it probably takes a year, right? Now, this doesn't mean that you can have one reel that blows you up. And I'm going to explain to you how, for example, like, so again, it's the output, AI is helping. And then what happens is AI is helping you with this content that is showing you as a person who, hey, you know what you're doing. Right. So, but look at the case of Gabby. Gabby had one reel that it was not AI.
Yep.
That blew up and is bringing her a lot of followers right now. And it's this video with Ariana Grande and their controversy.
Okay.
This video has done so well, and it was posted like a week ago, blew up, and is bringing her a lot of followers.
Yep.
Right. So you see. So and then I'll show you why it's like, so how is that we break down the analytics so that it gives you information that you actually is useful, because Instagram is showing you all these analytics, but it's most likely not showing you the next step, right? And then that's what we need. And then so for her is the followers. She wants more followers, which is totally fine. That's our goal. That's totally fine. But if another thing that I want to show you really quick is I'm going to go to my text messages. I'm going to put it on the screen. Everybody's going to look at my Instagram messages. So what Gabby said right here.
I also saw something weird, not weird, but because I'm sort of trying to follow like content creator trends right now too. So I've heard like rumors that, and I think it is that like I have been trying to get a goal of 10,000 followers, right? So like I want followers, but followers with these new algorithms are mattering less and less. So even people with tons of followers are not getting, it's not changing the algorithm distribution. So people are are complaining about much lower views, even if they have big followers, because it's now being tested more on like a cold audience, almost more like TikTok, I think.
Correct.
And then I even heard something that they were saying that like they were going to maybe stop showing follower count, but I'm not sure that would work well. Right. But apparently it's...
And I want you to think, so very important that you understand these concepts. So for example, Gabby sent me a text message saying, I just got 3 discovery calls. And then basically she's saying, like, I want to put it right here on the screen because I want to put it on the screen. So the post from that company has gotten me 3 discovery calls. And I got that because of my Instagram and also as berries, like berries. I say berries, my accent. So everything's going to come together. And I think the next 6 months I'm going to join in the work. So it's happening because everything that is, so when someone, it's like, so it's people who are not on, like followers are seeing the content, they go, they follow her, and then they see the cohesive, the podcast, they see that there's also fun. And so all together, and then they go to the website, and then they go to the YouTube channel, and then they go to X, and they go like hey, I want to work with this person. So it's, you see, that's the whole consistency in the package. And then I want to show you something really quick. Going back to the chat, right? So ChatGPT has the same thing. You see it in here, chat, co-work.
That's chat, new, I think, right?
Yeah. So it's like now they're showing it more, but it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't, what's the game changer is when you do the agentic tools. So you see, like I go chat, and it disappears, you see? And then I
So
go to work.
you can do agents now on ChatGPT?
Yes.
Ah.
But I prefer
like Claude
I
better.
prefer Claude Code. And we can debate, it's your preference. Doesn't matter. They will do the job, but I prefer,
You prefer Claude.
Claude. Yeah.
A lot of, from what I've been hearing, a lot of people prefer Claude. So
It's so far it will be the best tool that does the best at coding. So when you build something, the code,
yep.
it's better. That's the only difference, right? But that could change in the future, right? But these companies are always fighting to each other. So you see this part that it says in here, Codex. So if I go to Codex, this is what I will build, the same thing that I'm doing here when I show you Claude
Very
Code.
cool.
This is Claude Code. And what I'm having in there, think that I'm talking to a software developer. So I'm just saying, I need you to build something for me, right? And then it will build them for you. And then I'll explain to you, we're going to go back to what you were saying, because that's the next part that I want to show you in here. It's these parts. So what happens is, okay, we're posting. You saw what happened with Gabby right there. Let me start really quick in here. Other things that we build with Gabby, so that you know, is, let me see.
I have a funny story about followers, actually. So I had one reel that went viral that I did not think was going to go viral. It was a video of my daughter at her dance recital, looking very cute. It's like a 15-second reel, and it's almost at 1 million views right now. And I got probably 200 followers from this reel. But you can actually break down the demographics of who your followers are. So, like, 80% of these 200 new followers are grandmas.
Okay.
And over, which is, I mean, it's funny. They're not my demographic, right? My demographic is like younger, 30s, early 40s moms who are sort of taking on the world. So it was kind of funny because I gained the followers, but they're not really engaging with my content.
Correct.
So it's like there's so many layers to
and
it
then,
all.
would that help us? Because that's where the AI is going to help you build or break down what was what the reel did well, so that we can replicate it with the audience that you want to reach.
Yep.
So what happens is, okay, as you were saying, I need to build a tool that basically breaks down my analytics. So we have it for Gabby. So now Gabby has ADHD. So I can't, well, great. That was even better.
We've spoken about that too.
Okay, amazing. So what happens, one thing is that you guys can do is I can give you, here are 6 things that I want you to do. You can only do one thing. And then once you're done with that, then you can move to the next one.
Yeah.
So this is an ADHD kind of like tool that actually is breaking for her, like what is that she needs to do. So it takes the month.
Okay.
And analyze every piece of content, the carousels, the reels. And then it's gonna, before we go here, I wanna show you this part right here. So I want you to look at this line right here. This is her followers.
Okay.
Right? Look at what happened by topic. Every time the line, this little line goes over that middle line right here, it means that non-followers are watching her videos.
Yep.
Look at what the other topics that she's always talking to. No. So because she wants more followers, we need to talk about body image, eating disorders, and running and training. That's what the tool does for you. And then what it shows, it tells you, okay,
now
you made this
agent.
one, and then this one did well. This one reached non-followers.
Yep.
And 3 ideas of what she can talk about. And then the same thing for the second topic, and the same thing for the fueling and nutrition basics. So now she creates reels on that. And then what's going to happen is we're going to reach to the non-followers, and she's going to get more followers.
This is an AI agent you made?
Yes.
Wow.
So this the agent that is going to do the same thing for you. So you see it's explaining and giving you more tools. Your reels are going to YouTube. So the same thing. So what happens is once we have the reels that are doing best, we post them on YouTube too.
Okay.
To validate that point. So if what happens is if I go to her YouTube channel, right? Let me see. We're going to go really quick to her YouTube channel, and then we're going to go to shorts. You're going to see them there. Look.
Okay.
You see that?
Yep.
That. And then if you see that they're actually, you look at the views. Look at the views. So it means that we're validating that actually is not true, because they're doing well. If they're doing well on Instagram, most likely we're going to do well on TikTok, going to do YouTube Shorts, and it's happening. So that's what the advantage. So what's going to happen with you is, because you obviously the goal of these podcasts is to teach you how to use agentic tools. Oh, where is it? Oh, okay. So it's going to give you homework, right?
Okay.
So basically, you're going to build an AI employee, or you can call it your assistant, that is going to help you break down your analytics.
Okay.
And it's going to show you what topics are you talking about. And then it's going to say, okay, Madison, I want you to use these ones. And again, this is like a plan, right? So what we do is we take that plan, and if it works, it means we need to push it. And if it doesn't, then we have feedback with the agent. You know what? It didn't work.
What's adjusted?
What's happening here? Or you can go like I do. Fuck you. You told me this piece of shit. All fucking UBS. We need to talk and let's do something else. Come on, wake up. You're an AI? Really? And you know about this shit and you still can't figure it out? So it's me doing all the work in here. Figure it out. And then I leave because I get upset like that with my employees. I can do that because AI employees.
I yell at ChatGPT too.
ChatGPT.
I'm like, that is not my voice. I don't speak like that.
Yeah.
Please fix that right now.
Yes. So that's to give an example.
I don't curse at them usually.
I'm freaking like, I go crazy. That's the only time I curse. Yeah, right. I go back to like, back in like all the podcasts. So that you're going to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is, so you have Claude, right?
I have Claude.
Yeah. So you're going to see this section called work.
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you really
quick. Should I do it
quick.
like on my phone, or is it better on the
So
computer?
what we're going to do is like, we're going to do another session.
Okay.
I feel.
Cool.
And then what we're going to do is you're going to bring your laptop.
Okay.
Right. And then we're going to do it together.
Perfect.
For now, I want you to go home. And then, but before that, when do you think you can come back? Because I know you're busy. Can you come back this week? Can you come back next week?
I can come back this week.
So that's something that I miss. And it's actually, it's like I will just have you bring your laptop and then we'll do it together.
I almost brought it. No, I think it's a great idea, actually. I work from home on
We'll figure it out
Wednesday.
and then, yes, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
When you can, so you bring your laptop and we'll do it together.
Perfect.
And this is the type of content I want. But like, again, so you see, so chat and co-work. So co-work, the difference is the same thing that code.
Okay.
The only difference is it was made user-friendly. Right. So it was kind of like a way for Anthropic to introduce you to the agentic tools in a friendly way. So I can have a conversation here and then it will do those things for you. But ideally, you want to be on code. You see how it changed it automatically?
Yep.
Look at my finance agent right there. So I have a finance agent that breaks me down, like, for example, the finances of my business and things like that. So you see how it's changing and it's giving you more complicated things. But ideally, we want to be here.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, we're going to go home. We're going to go back home and go to co-work. This is a good start.
Okay.
So when you're going to go home, you're going to take the laptop, right? And then you're going to say, basically, in here, what we want to type is basically, I can send you the instruction if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So you just type it in there. But basically what we're saying is, hey, I have my Instagram. What I would like to do is I would like you to review the analytics on my last month of content. My intention is to figure it out what content is doing better.
Okay.
And it's reaching to non-followers because I want to post more of that content because I want to increase my followers. Your job is to help me break down the topics of the last 30 days of content and show me what are the next steps for me to content that I want to post for the next 30 days. Okay. So what's going to do in here, that's a good start, right?
Yeah.
And then one thing that I always add at the end, I always say this, ask clarifying questions. Do not assume anything.
Okay.
That's very important, right? Because if you don't, then sometimes what happens with the language models is they assume things.
Yes.
So you want them to ask clarifying questions. And another thing that I always do is explain everything to me as an 8th grader. Or you can say, I do not have any coding experience.
That is a good one for me.
But I want to build an AI agent that will solve this problem or automate my Instagram content, something like that, right?
Oh, my ADHD is going to have a field day here. We're going to be making agents right and left.
Right. I'm
We're going to have 500 agents by 4 a.m.
4 a.m. That would be amazing. That what happening is I'm probably waking up a new world. You'll be like, right? So and then what happens is once you build your first agent, right? Then it's like, then again, so you see, you're asking me questions.
Yeah.
You can ask The agent.
The questions as well.
So the same question you're asking me, like, okay, what you're telling me is I can build another agent that does this for me? Yep. And then you keep the conversation
going.
And if you don't understand something,
tell her I don't understand what
I don't fucking understand what you're telling. What the fuck is wrong? Like sometimes they do that, right?
Yeah.
So for if I have some conversations in here, I had to find them. But sometimes I go like, they tell me these things, and I go like, oh, right. Like I go explain it as an A grader because language models, they tend to show you all this information right away.
Yes.
Because that they were trained like that.
Right. That's what it does.
Right. Okay. So that will be a good start for you.
And now, do you tell it things? Because like I've told ChatGPT, because a lot of the AI systems, they want to tell you what you want to hear. They want to appease you.
Correct.
So a lot of times I'll tell like, be really critical of me, or don't just tell me it's great.
The simple way it is to say, I always do it too, is do not always agree with me.
Okay.
Right. Because what they tend to do is like, if you say, you know what, no, I think I want to post more, they will immediately go, yes, you're right. You need to post more. Right. So they will always tend to agree with you. So I'll always say something like, do not always agree with me. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Be critical of my thinking. Yeah. Exactly.
Like with ChatGPT, because I use it a lot of times to help me like refine a hook or like rephrase wording on stuff like that. And at first I was using it, and I would give it an idea, and it's like, that's a great idea. This is going to go viral. I love this video idea. And then I'd post it, and it would flop. And I'd be like, hey, chat, this reel did horribly. And they're like, oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Correct.
I was like,
yes, exactly.
I knew that was going to happen.
Now, there's a couple of things that are very important. It's like because you've been using ChatGPT for a long time.
Yeah.
So it knows a lot about you. So eventually what we want to do is bring kind of like that knowledge back to the Agentic tool. So one thing that is the advantage of having the Agentic tool is that you are basically caging it or putting it into this box that is just you. The chatbot always, it doesn't matter what you say, always going to tend to what I call hallucinate. An hallucination means that it's thinking about something that is not related towards you. Yes. Right? So just in simple terms, do not hate me on the comments again. Like you guys think that I don't know everything for you, right? But it's like, so that you wanted to train, and that's the advantage of having the Agentic tool. Because my Agentic tool knows this is Daniel, this is his business, these are his offers, this is his website, this is the way he talks, this is our ideal client. So you frame that, and then it's thinking around those, that knowledge.
So you might know this then, actually, because I was trying to figure out how to do this. I wanted to either ask Claude to communicate with Chat or to ask Chat to give me like a package about me to give to Claude so I can take everything it knows about me, because I've literally spent months and months and months so like pouring out my heart and soul to ChatGPT, which is embarrassing but true, right? And so like I don't want to have to recreate that. I want to be able to take all of that and plop it into
different
Claude.
Ways to do that really quick is like, for example, what happens if you go to ChatGPT and then you go to your settings. This is kind of like the long way, right? But just to show you really quick, you go to settings and then you go to settings. So basically what you want to do is export everything from ChatGPT, and I believe it's an account. Let me see. Where is it? I think it's export. I forgot what it is. I think it's data. Let me try to find it really quick. Yeah, export data. You see this one?
Yeah.
So, but it was going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So this is one way, and then you bring this data to Claude.
Wow.
So that's one way. The other way is, so what happens is right now, let's say you're building your tool right here on Claude, right? So what you can add in there is like, if there is, I use ChatGPT a lot. It knows more about me than what you do. Show me a prompt that I can put on ChatGPT for any information that it will be relevant for you about me or about my business. And then what it will give you is a prompt. You paste it on ChatGPT. Then you copy paste that information and put it back into here.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
The other way is just export, but it's a lot of information. I mean,
there's so much, because I use it for my legal work. I use it for a combination of things. So, I mean, I have like, I guess almost like agents, but I have my own folders that I've created.
The same thing I do with ChatGPT too. So I have folders. So I was obviously, because I was using ChatGPT a lot. So you see right here, for example, projects I have for each client, things that I do, right? So again, what I did eventually is move every client to my Agentic tool. Okay. So what happens now, if you go,
so each client is its own agent.
Yes. So it's like, yes.
It's more or
so
less.
Because I try to organize it and I want to keep it like contained, because for example, if I have an AI video editor that does Daniel, So I want that agent to do certain things for my content that may not do for my other client. So if I keep everything in the same agent,
get confused and
it gets confused, right? So for example, I have a Claude Code and I have clients in here. So you see I have like the folders. So every client has his kind of like knowledge base, right? So that's kind of what it happens.
Yeah.
And then one more thing that I was going to show you quickly is you mentioned the hooks. That's super cool because I want to show you this. So I created years ago. It's this little guide.
Okay.
This guide is probably going to help you if we want to bring it. These are,
cool.
So this is a guide that has 50. I tested all these hooks on TikTok, on Instagram. It has more, but I make a free one that has 50. So these are hooks that are basically categorized, and then there's also a ChatGPT prompt in there. This is when I was using ChatGPT, but I was going to show you something really quick in here. So you see there's the ChatGPT prompt if you want to use ChatGPT. I created a GPT as well, but then what happens is these are the hook templates. So for example, you see this is a template. So what happens is, let's say you're building the content agent, right? So you created the one that is analyzing the analytics. So then you want to create an agent that is helping you with the hooks, right? So you will feed this PDF, and then you will say, I want you to use the guide. This guide has the most viral hooks ever. These are tested. They work. And then I want you to tell me which one should I use for the next reel. And it's going to tell you, okay, you're going to use this one. So your job is, when you start the reel, you know this, you will film the hook, right? So for example, you are time frame away from results if you do this, right? And then it will give you the examples in here. Like at the bottom, it shows you examples as well. So you see there are a bunch of families, right?
So at first, I really did not want to use the hooks and like the viral hooks. I thought that it was not being creative to use them.
Correct.
And I think a lot of creators make that mistake where like, I want to create my own new content and my own new fresh perspective, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. Or I mean, like, it can be part of your content, I'm seeing, but it can't be what you lead with because the algorithms pick up these viral hooks and push those out more. So it's like,
but think this way too. Again, you're doing a test, right? So for example, let's say we do one of these hooks and it didn't work. So now you know, oh, you know what? It doesn't work, right?
Yep.
But what if you use one of these and then it works, right? So the way I would do it is this way. So for example, if you want to test it, right? Because I feel you when you're saying. So for example, how to decide result in short time frame without, right? Let me find an examples. I think I have some examples in here.
Yeah. I've been trying them on the trial reels a little bit more to see if they work or not. And I actually tried this thing called BuzzFi that I both like and don't like. I want to make a little reel about that at some point also. But basically, like, so I tried it like 2 weeks ago because it basically uses your content and just recreates various versions of your reel using what you already have out there. So it saves you a lot of time, and it posted as trial reels so your followers don't see it. So I tried it like 2 weeks ago. It's not creative at all. It basically makes worse versions of my videos, or where I'll just like shrink it down and put a weird background behind it, or it'll add weird music. So it's always a worse version of what I posted, but it's still getting thousands and thousands of views, and it's still getting me followers. So I'm sort of on the fence because I don't really like it as a tool. Like, I think it's
correct.
I don't think it's great. Like, I don't think it does a good job of creating content, but at the same time, it is doing a good job of putting out more trial reels, getting more viewers, getting more followers.
And it's important what you mentioned, right? So for example, I'm a big believer. If you say, I don't like it, I don't feel aligned, I move it. Yeah. So for example, I'm a big believer. I don't believe in views, right? I believe views is a metric that Instagram uses or any other platform to keep you on the platform, right? So I feel like views, to me, they don't matter. So now if I have a client that says to me, hey, I need views, then the strategy is different. The strategy is simple. Like, I'll give you an example, right? So for example, if I go to my Explore page, actually I was talking to Aaron about this like just a few minutes ago. Yeah. So I will go to my Explore page. I can build an agent too. And I say, hey, give me the 10 most viral reels as of August 2026 on my niche. And it will show them to me. So you literally need to recreate the exact same reel, piece by piece, even what they say. But now it's you. and it has to be the same way. And this is what other creators do.
Yes.
Right. So, for example, they will take a reel that is doing very well, and they just cut it exactly the same way. They say the same thing, but it's just them.
Yeah.
And that's how they get more views.
So I need to, I use that tool, but I always try to make it more about myself. So I'll keep the structure the same, but like I don't want to just be a copycat creator and literally say the same thing that 50 people just said before me. So I try to put my own spin on it usually.
Correct. So that's the other way that you can probably, it could work for you as well, is you always find topics that are trending.
Yes.
Then, like, for example, the Ariana Grande, right? And then you pick on that and then you give your opinion, right? And then they will always get more views as well. Anything that is trending a lot, that is like political, obviously, if you don't want to go that way, if you want to go celebrity, if you want to go tech news, right? And then they will get picked up.
It's relevant at that moment in time.
At that moment, again, but it will just have a spike, and then it will boom. But the job in this case of this type of reels is get me followers, boom. Now you describe something very important, like with the grandmas. You were saying, I got all these grandmas, right? So now they follow you, and they were like, oh, we love it. Now, are they staying for the other content? So, right, that is important, right? So that's what you want to know. So you want followers that they're going to keep watching your content.
Right. Not if they're not going to engage in your content to be part of your content.
So to summarize again, so what we're doing is, you're going to make your first AI tool. I love it. So I'll send you like a little prompt. You can test it at home. And it will be the AI agent that is helping you analyze your analytics and telling you this content you should do in the next, if you want more followers, right? We'll test it. And then you tell me if I'm full of bullshit or if I made it.
We're going to try it. I have one more question for you. Because there's one thing that I've wanted to do for like a month now, and I also keep putting it off. So I want to make either like an intro reel or an intro carousel where it's pinned at the top of my page so that anybody who comes to my page can understand who I am, what's my background,
100%.
why they should follow me, why I'm different than every other mom creator out there, right? So I've worked with ChatGPT now, actually, and I sort of have like the version of the text that I want to use and lay out. But then I need to go back and pick pictures and then put the text over the pictures, and I'm ADD, I'm all over the place, and I keep thinking about doing it, and I don't start. Because it seems like a really big, daunting task. So is that something, well, actually, there's two questions there. One, would you give that task to like an agent and give it pictures and it would actually put text on there? Or is that too complicated for what AI can do?
It's possible. Yeah, I love this question. You do actually have good questions. I love it. We'll bring you back to the podcast.
I've been doing a lot of research.
This is exactly the questions that I need, because at this show, it's about teaching you how to use AI so that you don't do work. Do your shit.
I need all the help I can get.
So I'm going to show you really quick, right? So what happens is I've been testing basically AI tools and with 3 clients. This is and I'm going to say this because that's my proud moment, right? So this is one. So I have 3 clients. This is one of the clients that is posting 7 days a week and it's fully AI assisted. I don't post. I just shoot the content and I define what is each post going to be.
Okay.
So I say, hey, agent or Sofia, we say, Sofia, we're going to post this on Monday, this on Tuesday, every day. What type of content is going to be?
Okay.
I tell the content is here.
Yep.
Your job is to create the post, the caption, and then you post. And then it shows me, okay, cool. And then it shows me the whole 30 days. And then I review it. I make changes if I need to. And then I say, cool. And then this is a client that is posting automatically. All right. So, for example, one very trendy right now, you've probably seen it, is the dual kind of like stack layout.
Yes,
have you seen it on Instagram?
I haven't figured out the edit yet.
Right. So it's like, do you use Canva?
I use edits for everything.
Okay,
right
perfect.
now.
That's perfect. So this is a carousel post, right? So what happens, this is something that AI can help you.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Even like, how you use the image generator in ChatGPT to create images?
I've tried to use it, but I like using real pictures. And so Chat doesn't actually use so Canva, you can upload your picture to it, right? And it'll use your picture. But chat will recreate your picture, and it always distorts my face.
Always
So
distorts
it's
the face.
never going to be, it
100%.
never looks exactly like me. So
So there's like two ways to fix that. That's actually, I love this question. So let's say, let me go back really quick to my Instagram and then find where do I have like the ones that I saved. That one's very popular right now. Let me see if I find it really quick. So this is post that I saved. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, Gabby sent me that post. I will have to probably go find it because those are very popular right now, like the dual.
yeah, the dual screen ones.
I think I didn't save it here. Let me see really quick. She sent me that one, but this is a problem. Like I will have to like scroll it. Let me see.
That's okay.
Give me a second. What's the name of this? And then they say that she likes I totally forget the name of this girl. Like it's very popular on Instagram. And then I think it's this girl. There's another girl, but this one will work. This one will work. So she has like a dual here. Right?
Yes.
So we'll stop it right there for a second. Hold on. Let me see. There's an image. Yeah. So I'll show you really quick how to make something like this really quick on ChatGPT using the image generator with my own images without having ChatGPT distort the images. Okay. And then the second option is you can use this for the agent. So the agent needs guidance. AI tools, they need guidance. So for example, let's say I like this post, right? So what I would do is I would screenshot the slides, right? So I like that one. Let's say I like that one. So you see, I'm just getting screenshots, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just getting screenshots.
My camera reel is full of screenshots.
Correct,
that
right?
I sent to ChatGPT.
The ChatGPT, right?
Like hundreds of them.
So let's say right now what we have, so we had this one too. So I'm just giving, right, the screenshots, right? Then we also have the post as a link.
This is actually a very beginner question, but how did you screenshot that?
Oh, on a Mac, you do Command Shift 4.
Okay.
Command Shift 4. So Command Shift 4, and it opens these kind of like, you see that tool right here?
Yes.
And then I can select what I want, and I take a screenshot. And then they're saved on your desktop.
Okay. Yeah, for your non-techie people.
No, that's totally fine. So I'm going to go ChatGPT, right? I'm going to go to the images, right? Section, because I'm on the images, right? Right now. So what I'm going to do is, this is live. And again, for those of you out there, you don't have to be perfect on the prompt. There is a massive belief out there that your prompt has to be technically perfect and it has to be like crazy. I'm going to prove you that even with my accent and I'm going to mess it up, it does a good job because that's part of the AI, right? So a lot of people think that your prompt has to be perfect and it's not. So the screenshots are on my desktop, right? So I'm just going to take them and I'm going to put them on ChatGPT, right? Then I'm going to select the post, right? Because I want, that is a reference to, right? So ChatGPT can have.
So it can actually open the post? I didn't know it could do that either. Is that?
You can actually, another thing that you want to do too, like I always screenshot.
Yeah.
But you can actually just take the link to the post and say, do the screenshots for me. Or just take a look at the post.
I didn't know that.
It will do that. But usually what happens is, just in case, because again, I'm giving ChatGPT, if I say, hey, I like this post, it could literally think about all the things.
Yeah.
So that's what you see how like what I'm doing is I'm giving the constraints. I'm saying, these are the screenshots, this is the post. So now what ChatGPT is going to do, like check the posts and the screenshots. And then it's going to say, oh, these are the ones that he likes.
Yeah.
Instead of just the post and say, or just saying, hey, I like the dual post that is popular on Instagram.
Right, it's not going to know what you're talking
so
about.
So that's, you have to define, the better you do that, the better job.
Yes.
The better job will do, okay? So I'm going to take those, and then what else is going to do? So one on the images, and then what I'm going to need some photos. So let me see if I have some photos in here. So we're going to use, that was going to be a good one. I don't think I have photos in here. Let me see. So we're going to go really quick. Actually, so I use this website to download professional pictures. I can go to Canvas too. But let's say we're going to go here. So it's just a website where I get like stock footage, stock photos. And then now I know that I need to have some sort of like photos in here. So I'm just going to say running girl. And then we're going to download like 4 photos.
Okay.
Right. So maybe that look okay. Let's say I like this one. This is just for an example,
Yeah.
right? And let's say I like this one. And let's say we'll probably need to do, you know what? I say running influencer. Probably that work is gonna be much better. Yep. They're gonna like much better. You see, they're coming a little bit better. I told you. Let's use this one. Let's use this one. And this one. Look, they're coming better. Look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better.
So yeah, you see. But as soon as I say influencer, I knew it. I knew it.
The missing keyword.
The missing keyword. Okay, so I'm gonna go to downloads. So this is just, we downloaded these photos just because we needed we needed some photos, right? Okay. Let's say these are my photos.
Yep.
Right. So I'm gonna put them here, Madison test. Okay. So what I'm gonna go is I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT, right? And I'm gonna put those photos in there. So again, I just gonna take them, right? And then I'm gonna put them in there.
You are so much faster than I am. I'd be like clicking and trying to drag it.
It's totally fine. So now we're gonna do the prompt. So when I say, okay, so you can break it down in different ways, right? So because I uploaded all the images, so ChatGPT is going to have a problem figuring it out which one
to put where.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the photos that I want. And then instead of starting here, I'm going to start a new window, right?
Okay.
Makes sense? So I'm going to have a conversation, you see, and it already gave me the link, right? So I'm going to switch to chat. Do you know the difference between these models and everything? We're going to have a conversation about that probably another day.
Okay.
Right? So, and then we're going to explain that. So I'm going to go back to my desktop. I'm going to select this. I'm going to start a conversation. So what I'm going to say, this is instead of going right away for the whole image. So I'm going to say, analyze this pose for me. The goal is to recreate the carousel pose that I like from this account. Do not create an image now. Just show me that you understand how to recreate the carousel pose for Instagram. The size, I always gonna say the size, you see how I'm precise, 4:5 ratio. I know these things like, and this is better, 1080 pixels by 1440 pixels. Right.
Oh wow.
So I'm very like specific with that because I don't want ChatGPT to just figure it out.
Going on. Yep.
So the visual system. So I'm trying to see if they understand, right? You see the color, right? So that's important. Small, perfect.
Okay, so
now
it's
I'm
analyzing all.
It's analyzing, right? So analyzing, okay, perfect. So I want to understand that it understands. You see, strong, that's the most important thing. So now that I know, if I want to make a change, I make a change. If not, I don't make a change. If that's too much, and I go like, fuck you, that's like a long response. Explain it as an 8th grader. Go to the point. Right? Do you understand the carousel? So you can do that too. That's a long response.
Your
right?
agent's gonna need some therapy.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna need, right? It's gonna need therapy. You see? Yes, I understand. You see how small it is now? So look at the difference.
It gives you everything.
So okay, I understand. You see? Simple. That's what I want. Okay, got it. Right. So and then it's asking me more. Okay. So now what I'm gonna say in here is, let me move this guy from here. I always want to move this guy from away. This is the recording part.
Yeah, it's in a bad place.
It's in a bad place, yes. So now what I'm going to say, so the job is to recreate it, right? So I'm going to say, I have my own images. I'm going to give them to you. You're not going to change the images.
All right, that's the key.
Right?
And now if you're in if you're in their image page, then it'll actually be able to use your image and not change it.
Yes, right. So it's on page. And I also always going to say this. Do not change the faces of any photo I give you.
Yeah.
Right. By default, it will do it because it's just privacy, right?
Yeah,
it's like and legally stuff that. So if I can upload any picture I want, I can literally create, take photos from anybody and then just make fun of them.
Yes.
So that's what they're avoiding. So by default, it will do that. Yeah, you go. You can go.
You have 9 minutes on the SD card.
9 minutes? Yeah. Oh, damn. So we can always change it.
I told you that I talk a lot, It's not my fault.
Though we can always probably change.
You have extra ones?
Do you want to do that now? So we're gonna do a change of the card because we ran out.